welcome to Teacher Nick's first online math class with C-Term EP. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright class, let's begin today's lesson. We are doing order of operations. I know a lot of you are asking yourselves, what are order of operations? Why do we need them? And how do we use them when solving math problems? Well, let's begin. First question is, what are order of operations? They are a set of math rules, and they are very important because they tell us exactly what order to add, subtract, multiply, and divide in. I know you guys are asking yourself, why Teacher Nick, why do we have more rules? Can I not just do it in any order I want? Well, that is a good question. And I think the best way to answer that question is with an example. Here is the same problem. 3 plus 4 multiplied by 2. We're going to have student A and B try solve this. Student A thinks he should add first. He adds 3 and 4 together. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. Oh, Einstein is not happy with that. Unfortunately, student A is wrong. Student B seems to know what she is doing. She multiplies 4 and 2 together. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. Good job, student B. I'm happy with that, and so is Einstein. So from these two examples, you can see that both students did their calculations correctly, but the order in which they did their calculations was different. And that's what we need to agree upon, is what order we need to complete a math problem. So let's delve deeper into it. We begin with PEMDAS, and I want you to get PEMDAS into your brains because it is an acronym that you need to remember. And when I mean acronym, I mean it stands for something. The P stands for parentheses and brackets. E for exponents. M, multiplication. D, division. A, addition. S, subtraction. If you have difficulty remembering all of that, try this silly sentence. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And if that doesn't jog your memory, maybe a picture of Aunt Sally will. Alright, so I want you to take a mental image of what is on the screen right now, because this needs to be in your brain every time you complete any math problem. PEMDAS is arranged in a hierarchy of order. At the very top of our pyramid, we have parentheses. This means we do it first. Second, we have exponents. After exponents, we'll do multiplication and division, and then at the very end, we'll do addition and subtraction. So let's talk about the first rule, parentheses and brackets. Parentheses are these symbols that curve forwards and backwards, and they come in pairs. Inside of them, we put numbers and operations, and they will group that problem together. Brackets are the same as parentheses, except they have a more rigid and square shape, but they form the same function. They group numbers and operators together. What that means for us is whenever you see parentheses or brackets and the group of numbers and operators in between them, you need to do that part of the problem first. Alright, let's look at the problem on the screen. 5 multiplied by 4 plus 6. In this problem we have 3 numbers and 2 operators, multiplication and addition. We also have a set of parentheses, and we know inside of the parentheses it's a group of numbers and operators that we must do first. So let's begin. 4 plus 6 is 10. 5 multiplied by 10 is 50. Pretty easy, right? But what happens if we have 2 sets of parentheses in one problem? Well, we know that the grouping should be done first, before we do any other operations. So we need to simplify the problems inside of our parentheses before we do anything else. Let's begin. 8 minus 3 is 5. 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. 5 plus 20 is 25. Pretty easy, right? I think so. Alright, so the next part of our PEMDAS is exponents. Let's take a look at that. Exponents are a fancy word for repeated multiplication. And what I mean by repeated multiplication is a number multiplied by itself. In this instance, 4 multiplied by 4 can be written as 4 to the power of 2. Another example, 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 can be written as 4 to the power of 3. One more, 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 will equal 4 to the power of 4. So we can see that the little number at the top is our exponent or power. And what that means is the base number times itself by the power. Alright, let's look at this example. 4 multiplied by 5 to the power of 2. In this problem we can see we have an exponent, which means we need to do that before we do the other operations. So how do we solve this? We take the base number and we multiply it by a power. So this will be 5 multiplied by itself twice. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 25 is 100. Pretty easy. Take a look at this next problem. Over here we have an exponent and parentheses. Our rules tell us that we need to do what is inside our parentheses first. And in this case, our exponent is inside of the parentheses, so we must begin with that first. Let's start. We're going to take 4 and multiply it by itself twice. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 16 is 20. 20 multiplied by 3 is 60. So you just need to keep to your PEMDAS rules. Do your brackets and what's inside of your brackets, then your exponents. Alright, the last part of our PEMDAS pyramid is multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. We're going to look at these rules together. But before I begin, you must always remember that multiplication and division must be done before addition and subtraction. Let's look at the next example. 6 plus 5 multiplied by 4. We know that we must begin with multiplication first. So 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. 6 plus 20 is 26. Easy, right? How about this example? 2 multiplied by 5 minus 4. We need to begin with multiplication. 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. Still with me? How about this one? 6 plus 6 divided by 3. Well, division comes before addition. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. Nothing hard about this. Alright, let's look at the problem on the screen. 20 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. In this problem we have both division and multiplication. And we know in terms of our PEMDAS pyramid that they are tied for power. So what rule do we have for multiplication and division in the same problem? Simple. We go from left to right, which means we need to start on the left-hand side of the problem and work our way across to the right. Let's begin. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 multiplied by 5 is 50. Pretty easy, right? How about this problem? Now we have 16 minus 2 plus 7. Now we have subtraction and addition in the same problem. And we know in terms of our PEMDAS pyramid that these are also tied for power. Well, the same rule applies. We need to do it from left to right. So let's begin. 16 minus 2 is 14. 14 plus 7 is 21. That's all for PEMDAS. I hope that you guys learned everything that you need, and if you're stuck or struggling with anything, just go back, rewatch the video, and I'm sure you'll be able to complete the tasks in the links in the description below. Thank you, and until next time, goodbye.